Okay, Sagittarius, what is going on for you guys in October? Obviously, I'm posting this a little bit after October has started, but this reading may apply for the next 3 to 4 weeks. As we are also in Libra season, this applies to Libra season. So Sagittarius, suns, rising, moons, Venuses, and potentially Marses or Mercuries as well. I always recommend reading for the placement that you feel called to read for. So, all right. Right off of the bat, we have 5 of Cups coming out and the 6 of Wands reverse coming out. This shows me that some of you are rethinking your decisions. Some of you may have made a decision and you're rethinking it. Some of you might feel a little bit off course right now, just kind of like maybe you're, again, going back on a decision you made because you realized that it was the wrong decision, or you're just feeling like you don't know what decision to make. It's causing you to really think about what's going on in your life right now, thinking about where you have invested your time and if that's been worth it or not. A lot of reflection already coming out for you guys. Which isn't something you always do, but you love to do it when you do it, right? And coming out next here is the 8 of Swords. This is a sign, kind of going into these first 2 cards that have already come out for you guys. Some of you might just feel like you're trapped right now, like maybe you can't see the decision, like you can't see a clear path. You guys are always so good at being able to see ahead, look ahead, see the path in front of you. You might just feel like you can't see the path. But what we always see here with the 8 of Swords is that what may feel like being trapped or being unable to see something ahead of you or even in front of you right now, a lot of times this is just an illusion caused by fear, or an illusion caused by non-truths around you, something that you're believing to be true around you that is not true. So coming back to this 5 of Cups here, for those of you who this is resonating with, this is a really good time to just sit down and think about the beliefs that you're holding right now. Like, what are you holding as practices, as beliefs, as values that are showing up in your day-to-day life? This may be a time that some of you may need to rethink some of those so that you are able to see where you have created your own container, where you have created your own kind of prison, if you will. So there's definitely a sign here that a lot of you are probably thinking pretty deeply about some stuff. You might not be going through the easiest of times right now. If I remember correctly, September horoscope for Sagittarius, there was a sign of some of you may some of you may have been having some issues in your home life. So here you may be dealing with those issues still, or some of you may have separated from those issues, but now you're kind of feeling maybe lost, again, stuck or confined where you are. Okay, what else is going on for Sagittarius suns right now? Sagittarius risings, moons, Venus, Mercury, and Mars. Okay, all right, well then we have this beautiful spread of cards that just came out for you guys. So this is great, and I'm sensing that this is kind of the energy that's coming at the end of October or closer to November, which is really good, because when we're seeing, again, these first few cards, these can be a little bit intense. They can feel like misaligned, or like something isn't right in your life right now. But what we have coming out for kind of the latter part of November here is this sun energy. Yes, all about that sun, your fellow fire sign Leo. Some of you may be dealing with Leos. You may have a Leo who's showing up very presently in your life this month, or you may just be stepping into that sun energy. And then the Knight of Pentacles, being able to fully live in your truth, live in your authentic self. Kind of backing up here, what these 2 cards are showing me is that if you guys have made a decision and you're thinking about going back on it, or you're reflecting on it, keep in mind that we are in Mars retrograde until November 13th, and we are entering Mercury retrograde, which will stay retrograde until November 3rd. So for the month of October, things are not going to be super clear for anybody. So if some of you are going back on a decision or thinking about going back on a decision, what I'm kind of getting with these latter cards here is that if this decision that you made again, for those of you who this is resonating with, if the decision that you made was about being able to be authentic in your life, like being able to show up in kind of your highest vibration or your highest fulfillment, your highest calling, that is the right decision. There's a signal here that anything that you do this month that helps you to be aligned and to be able to fully show yourself, like you don't want to feel like you have all these restrictions around you that stop you from like showing your feathers here, as we see with this Nine of Pentacles. So anything that's allowing you this month to be able to step into that energy, to be able to just be yourself authentically, that is what's calling you. That is the right thing to do. And again, if it has to do with a decision that you've made maybe last month or that you're trying to make right now, go in the direction of where you are authentic, where you're showing up authentically. Great. And then at the end of the month here, or at the end of the spread here, which again is showing up for me at the end of October before you guys, Nine of Cups and then the Eight of Cups. So this is when you have the Nine of Cups in a spread, you have the wish card. So this is a sign that for those of you who've been trying to call something in, or who have been trying to manifest something or waiting for something to happen, it is coming. There is definitely a wish is becoming fulfilled here. But what we have right after this is the Eight of Cups. So what this shows me is that some of you may have exactly what you asked for come to you. But you know that like cheesy ass saying, be careful what you wish for, because it's not always going to be what you thought you wanted. And that's what we're seeing here at the end of the spread with the Eight of Cups, is that you get what you want, but then maybe you decide it wasn't actually what you wanted. So just be aware that just because you've asked for something or just because you've worked on something doesn't always mean that when it turns out that that's exactly what you thought you wanted. There's always going to be room to kind of, again, remove your own blinds so that you can see all of the options in front of you. Okay. Let's see, anything else that is showing up for you guys? Anything that Sagittarius needs to be aware of? Okay, so something to be aware of this month, we have the Ten of Pentacles reverse coming out for you guys. So this is about rebuilding a reputation. If, again, when we have Mars in retrograde, this is very much a collective time of completing a cycle that was not fully completed, getting closure on something, not necessarily even like emotional closure, but like actual, literal, physical closure on something, which may mean apologizing, releasing something, getting rid of something, finishing something that you had started, finishing a project that you had started. What I'm feeling with this is that some of you may have just kind of burnt some bridges on accident with people, maybe in your work life and collaborations. And this is a sign that may come back to bite you a little bit. So any kind of rekindling a work relationship or a friendship with someone, or just having a clear conversation with someone who maybe like there's a little hostility with, this is probably going to be a theme that comes up this month. You can obviously be proactive with that and kind of initiate that if this is resonating, but this may be a sign here that something may come back to you this month that you weren't expecting, or remind you of something that previously went on that was not completed. And also be careful where you invest your money right now. It's just generally a good time to be a little bit conservative with your finances. Okay, let's see. I get that some of you might be just kind of bored right now, like waiting for something to happen, but coming back to these like really powerful four cards here, the Sun, Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Cups, and then the Eight of Cups 2 here, there is definitely an indication that like things are going to be moving around a little bit later this month. So if you do feel like you're waiting on something, just give it a little bit of time. Let's see, anything else, especially for love, anything else for love with Sagittarius? Okay. Okay, Nine of Wands and Three of Pentacles are coming out here. I had just asked about love there, but I'm actually getting that this is like home situations for some of you. You may be living with 3 roommates, 2 roommates. You may feel like you don't have enough space to yourself, or you don't have enough like just that you might feel like you're having to have your guard up with some people in your life right now. But this is a sign that like with as we see here with the Nine of Wands, this is a sign that what might feel like it's a forever situation is not forever. It's maybe more temporary than you think it is. So if some of you are dealing with a situation with 3 people, this could be in a relationship, this could be romantic. Like if some of you are trying to maybe you have 2 people that you're dating, or maybe there's a 3rd person who's come into a relationship. Hopefully that's not the situation for anyone who's in a monogamous relationship, but definitely a sign here that this situation may feel like it's like gonna last forever, but it is not. Let's see what else with that for Sagittarius. Any last messages? Okay. Okay, and the last cards coming out for you guys, we have the the 10 of Wands and the 2 of Swords. This is coming to me as like very practical advice for you guys. Any of you who are sitting on a decision and neglecting it, it's actually putting more weight on your back by not making that decision right now. So any of you who are trying to make a decision right now, if you feel like there's all this anxiety around you from all these other little things, or not even anxiety, but just responsibility around you, stress, right? Like if you look at that photo, she's carrying so much on her back. So having this 2 of Swords coming out here is showing me that if you make this decision, it will release a lot of that weight, a lot of that stress. So you might be attributing that stress to something else going on in your life, but I think it has to do more with like a mental decision that you have to make, Sagittarius. Okay, and then the last cards here we have we have the Lovers reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed. So yeah, some of you may be in a relationship right now where you're not able to show up fully as yourself, and you may just be realizing that like right now. There's definitely a misalignment, and coming back to these cards at the beginning, these are indicators that you are really aiming at being in your authentic self this month, whether that's conscious or not conscious. There's an aim at being who you are without having to have kind of a guard up. So if you are in a relationship right now, I'm getting that this is romantic. You may be realizing this month that some aspect of that relationship is not allowing you to show up authentically. So I'd invite you to think about how you can show up more authentically. All around, all across the board. Being able to show up authentically and remove any barriers that feel like they're stopping you but aren't really there. There's definitely a lot of shifts and changes happening for you guys this month. But overall, it feels like it's going to be a positive time come November, as in, I think you'll look back on October realizing that there was a lot that you had to go through and move through, but coming out of the month, I think you're going to feel much more aligned in your own energy. So have a great October, Sagittarius.